Good afternoon. Pressure is growing on the Conservative Party chairman Nadhim Zahawi to explain his tax affairs after reports he paid a significant penalty as part of a multi-million-pound settlement with HMRC. Labour has called the former Chancellor's position untenable and said he should be sacked. But this morning, Cabinet colleagues came to Mr Zahawi's defence, repeating his insistence that his taxes were properly declared and he paid all he owed. Our political correspondent Carl Dinnan has the latest.
Did the Tory party chairman pay all his taxes on time?
Are you up to date? Did you try to avoid paying taxes, sir?
Nadhim Zahawi is reported to have paid a penalty as part of a settlement with HM Revenue and Customs. Mr Zahawi, who was briefly the Chancellor last year, hasn't denied paying the penalty. Ministers say he has now paid all his taxes.
But what I know from what he said is that he's paid all his tax, he's got no outstanding tax liabilities, and I think that's what people want to know.
But anyone who's in the Cabinet should surely be paying their tax on time, shouldn't have to pay a penalty for not paying it on time.
Well, I don't know any of the details of that. What I do know is that there's nothing outstanding, that all his tax has been paid.
Do you think he should be more transparent and tell us whether he paid it on time?
Well, that would be a matter ultimately for him.
But Labour say the Prime Minister should not be standing by Mr Zahawi.
A few months ago, he was Chancellor of the Exchequer. You may forget because there were 4 of them last year, but he was Chancellor of the Exchequer, responsible for Britain's tax affairs and tax collection, the taxes that we now find that he wasn't so keen to pay himself. So if the Prime Minister wants to stick by his commitment for integrity, honesty and professionalism, he should do the right thing and sack Nadhim Zahawi.
Mr Zahawi's spokesman has said his taxes were properly declared and paid in the UK, but as yet there's been no explanation for the reported penalty payment. Carl Dinnan, ITV News, Westminster.
European leaders have delayed making a decision on sending more tanks to Ukraine. Ukraine's president has said German-built Leopard tanks could be decisive in countering a new Russian offensive, but at a meeting yesterday, ministers were not able to commit to sending them. In his nightly address, Volodymyr Zelensky said he's confident that in time the need for the tanks will become clear.
The partners are firm in their attitude. They will support Ukraine as much as necessary for our victory. Yes, we will still have to fight for the supply of modern tanks, but every day we make it more obvious there is no alternative to making the decision on tanks.
Helicopters have resumed their search for the missing British actor Julian Sands in the mountains north of Los Angeles. Federal and state agencies have joined the effort, which is for the moment restricted to the air. Impassable roads and the risk of avalanches are preventing rescuers from searching on the ground. Charlie Frost has more.
A sign to stay away. This is the mountain range being searched for missing British actor Julian Sands. But the risk of avalanches in the area north of Los Angeles is currently considered too great, making it dangerous for teams to search on the ground.
You don't mean you're going to marry them?
Known for his role opposite Helena Bonham Carter in 1985 film A Room with a View, the 65-year-old has spoken of his love for hiking. He set off to explore this particularly treacherous part of the San Gabriel Mountains 7 days ago. At least 2 other hikers have died there this winter.
During this time frame, especially after snowfall, there's going to be areas you think are good to hike on, but next thing you know, you're sliding. So recommended to come up in the springtime and the summertime and hike Baldy.
The conditions mean the search for Julian Sands has been confined to the sky for almost the entire time he's been missing. Helicopters and drones hoping to find him. But now national authorities have stepped in, upping the efforts by using mobile phone forensics to try to pinpoint his location. So far, there's no more data past the day he disappeared. A few days ago, his car was found in a car park close to where he was reported missing. Police say this is still a search operation with no hard deadline for ending their efforts. Julian Sands' family and friends hoping he can be found soon. Charlie Frost, ITV News.
And finally, Sir Andy Murray has crashed out of the Australian Open in the third round. It was another battling performance from Murray, who was clearly still feeling the effects of the longest match of his career, which lasted almost 6 hours and only ended at 4 a.m. yesterday. Joe Coshen reports.
Andy Murray! He's played nearly 11 hours on court in the first 2 rounds, so the last thing Andy Murray needed was another long, drawn-out match. Spaniard Roberto Bautista Agut convincingly took the first set 6-1 and then broke Murray's serve to lead 3-1 in the second. But as we've learnt before, don't take it as a sign that the Brit was going down without a fight.
Made it.
Murray's passion for every point showed, surviving 2 set points to take the second set. And if the crowd weren't won over by his big heart yet, they were now.
Second set, Murray.
Some signs that the 78-minute set looked to take its toll on Murray. Bautista Agut winning the third 6-3. Murray came back again though with an early break of serve in the fourth. His racket, the only thing propping him up. But that proved to be his last fight, the Spaniard seeing off the resilient Brit in the fourth set. A disappointing end, but moments of Murray's brilliant best gave fans back home plenty to celebrate. Joe Coshen, ITV News.
And with Sir Andy's defeat, all of the British men have now been knocked out of the singles competition in Melbourne. And that is it for now. Gamal will be here with the latest at 5:30. Until then, I hope you have a lovely afternoon. Bye-bye.